I'm Heather Krasna, Assistant Dean and Director of Career Services at Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health, also the author of the book Jobs That Matter, Find a Stable, Fulfilling Career in Public Service, and I've been a career coach for over 16 years focused on nonprofit, specifically nonprofit and government careers. So the single most important thing that I want to say about resumes is that resumes are really not the most important thing a lot of the time. The resume has only one job, and that is to help you get a phone call to schedule an interview for a position you applied for. And that's very specific. But there's a lot of ways you can get an interview for a position where your resume is not even the most important thing, and that is through networking and through referrals. Increasingly, most people are getting their job interviews and getting hired because of networking and referrals. So just know that it is possible for sure to get a position just by applying for it and submitting your resume and your cover letter. But what's even more important these days especially is to build relationships with people at the organizations that you really want to work for. And that means reaching out to people that you might already know, but also building new contacts, going to networking events, but also using things like LinkedIn or an alumni directory to find people where you have something in common. Maybe you went to the same school, or maybe you're part of the same professional organization, and you really are interested in meeting that person and having coffee with them and getting their advice about what it's really like to work at that organization. You're establishing relationships and gaining some research about what it's really like to work at different places. Ultimately, you're going to know somebody so that when you apply for a position, you can actually use that person's name in your cover letter, and ideally that person will actually take your resume and hand it to the hiring manager. That is something that can increase the chance of your getting an interview. The research says it's between 400% and 500%. So you can quadruple, quintuple your chance of getting your interview if you just even use the name of someone you might have, that you know at that organization. You get their permission to use their name in the cover letter. That's so much more important even than having the perfect resume. It is important to have a great resume, but that's definitely not the only thing to think about. And also another point to remember is that the cover letter also makes a really big difference, and especially in nonprofit organizations, especially mission-driven nonprofit organizations. Basically, if you're recruiting for a mission-driven organization, it's really not quite enough for the person to have all the credentials and qualifications for the job. You also have to show that you really care about the mission. And that's something you can convey, especially in a cover letter, even more than in a resume, although your resume hopefully also shows your commitment to the mission. Your cover letter is where you can talk about your personal commitment to that organization and what they're doing to make the world a better place. So customizing your cover letter and making sure that you address why that organization is especially interesting to you, why you're committed to what they do, maybe any other particular connection that you have with that organization. Those things are even more important than the resume a lot of the time.